It's Thursday, the 10th of November, 2022. Welcome to the Fast Five by Fear and Greed, where we give you the top 5 business stories you need to know in just 5 minutes. I'm Michael Thompson, and good morning, Adam Lang.
Good morning, Michael.
Adam, we've got 5 big stories this morning to get through in just 5 minutes, so we better rip into it. Story number 1, National Australia Bank has issued a bit of a warning on the economic outlook after posting an 8.3% lift in cash earnings to $7.1 billion. Really, they were echoing fellow bank Westpac. NAB said that the rapid pace of interest rate rises is becoming a challenge for households. Still, CEO Ross McEwan says the results for the 12 months to September 30 are pleasing and that all divisions of the bank contributed to earnings. He also says that strong employment conditions and substantial household and business savings are a buffer, and it gives him confidence in the resilience of NAB's customers and the broader economy.
Michael, there are a few interesting forecasts that I think are worth a mention. NAB thinks the unemployment rate will drift higher to 4.5% by the end of 2024. Inflation will probably peak in the December quarter this year and ease in 2023. And they're also picking a peak cash rate of 3.6% in March 2023.
So we've got a little bit to go before we get there then. All right, on to story number 2. Rupert Murdoch's News Corporation has suffered a 75% collapse in first quarter net income to $66 million. Longtime CEO Robert Thompson says economic conditions are more volatile and blames the decline on foreign currency fluctuations and a decision by Amazon to reduce warehouse space, which cut News Corp's book sales. But results were not much better elsewhere within the company.
Yeah, that's right, Michael. News Media, which is the division that owns the news mastheads The Australian, The Herald Sun, Daily Telegraph and London's Times, saw revenue fall 47%. Subscription video services, that's essentially Foxtel, KO and Binge, saw a revenue fall of 3% to US $111 million. Overall, News said advertising revenue fell 50%. News Corp is a bit of a gauge on how the economy is doing because its businesses rely on consumer and business confidence, so it does tell us something about the weakening global economy.
All right, story number 3, Adam. Supermarket giant Coles held its annual general meeting yesterday amid revelations that all those plastic bags that are being collected in the big bins outside at stores, you know, the ones, they are not actually making it to the recycling. It turns out hundreds of millions of plastic bags that have been dropped off for recycling are instead in storage at a company called RedCycle, which has now announced that it is suspending the collection program.
Yes, Michael. Coles boss Stephen Kane says he is disappointed to hear the bags aren't being recycled and intends to work with Woolworths, which was also affected, to find a better way to recycle soft plastics. Kane also told shareholders he's optimistic about the coming Christmas and said new automation facilities that use artificial intelligence and robots to restock stores will make 2023 one of the most transformational years in the group's 100-plus year history.
That's incredible. All right. Story number 4. How about this one, Adam? There is a chance that Prime Minister Anthony Albanese might have a face-to-face meeting with Chinese President Xi Jinping soon in what could really be a watershed for Australian-Chinese relations. Albo says nothing's finalised, but any meeting would be, quote, a positive thing.
If it happens, the meeting will take place on the sidelines of either the G20 Leaders Summit in Bali or the APEC Summit in Bangkok, both of which are coming up shortly. The last formal meeting between President Xi and an Australian Prime Minister was with Malcolm Turnbull back in 2016. And relations, you'd have to say, have deteriorated ever since.
Yeah, just a tad. All right, story number 5, last one, Adam. I love talking about TV and I love talking about streaming. Disney is cutting marketing and content spending after weaker than expected fourth quarter earnings at Disney Plus, which is, of course, the subscription streaming service that's home to Marvel and Star Wars and The Simpsons and a bunch of other things. And it's really kind of going head to head with Netflix. Disney Plus has lost a staggering $8 billion since its launch 3 years ago and $1.5 billion in the last quarter alone. But it's gaining subscribers at a rate of knots, adding more than 12 million net new accounts.
And we found out this week that 19.3% of Australians have a Disney Plus subscription. That's a number that trails the 48% of us that subscribe to Netflix. But you'd have to say Disney Plus has done it in much quicker time. Disney said it was at peak losses in streaming and things would start to look better from now on. Its famous theme parks division set an all-time record with $7.4 billion in revenue, and that was up 36% from last year. Overall, Disney shares fell 7% and are down 36% since the start of the year.
All right, there we go. The top 5 business stories in 5 minutes. Thank you, Adam.
Thank you, Michael.
It's Thursday, the 10th of November, 2022. Remember to hit follow and don't forget to check out our new podcast, How Do They Afford That? Featuring Canna Campbell, the founder of Sugar Mama TV, all about making your money work a little bit harder for you. The new episode this week is all about superannuation. How much money do you actually need in your super account? You can find that wherever you listen to podcasts. I'm Michael Thompson, and that was the Fast Five by Fear and Greed. Have a great day.